We got some backlash from China this morning. I want to talk about it after the U.S. Congress passed 2 bills to back protesters in Hong Kong and send a warning to China about human rights. President Trump expected to sign them into law despite delicate trade talks taking place with Beijing. And China's already spoken out condemning the legislation. I want to get over to Eunice, who's got reaction from officials and the implications for business in Hong Kong. She joins us this morning live from Beijing. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Good morning, Andrew. So China has doubled down on its criticism of Congress. The country's top diplomat, Wang Yi, has accused the U.S. of repeatedly interfering in China's affairs. The foreign ministry also urged the U.S. to, quote, stop before it's too late. And today, the state-run People's Daily posted a front-page editorial saying if the U.S. clings to its course, China would have to take resolute revenge. So if President Trump signs the bills into law, the Secretary of State would be required to certify every year that Hong Kong maintains its special autonomous status compared to the mainland. And if it does that, then it would be able to maintain its special trading privileges with the United States. Now, I spoke with the American Chamber of Commerce's head in Hong Kong about this, and she said that the move cracks the door open for a change in Hong Kong's special status. But for now, this is largely symbolic, because she was quick to point out that Hong Kong's relationship with the United States is still governed by another similar policy act. She did so, though, say that her members are concerned more about the impact that these bills could have on the trade negotiations and the overall U.S.-China business relationship. Now, on the trade front, there was one other development, a report out of the Wall Street Journal, which said that China's chief negotiator, Liu He, has invited his U.S. counterparts to Beijing for a fresh round of face-to-face negotiations, possibly before Thanksgiving. But that report also said that the U.S. team isn't so keen to come out here unless they have firm commitments from China. Guys?
Eunice, I mean, this makes the NBA comments, it pales in comparison, but I'm wondering which is more important if, there's 600 million NBA fans. It's like, oh, that's just Congress. I don't know. Because this is much tougher language than the Houston Rockets owners' language, right? I mean, this should really get people, GM. Yeah. This should really get people up in arms, don't you think?
Well, when you talk about people, I'm guessing you mean people in the government. So Beijing was highly critical of it. It's really seen as a slap in the face, probably the strongest sign from officially, internationally, about the Hong Kong situation. So it's really seen as a big, strong sign of support for the Hong Kong protesters. And, those same protesters are people who Beijing calls rioters and terrorists. So it's not going to bode well for the relationship. But at the same time, in the conversations that I've had here, there seems to be a real hope and belief that China is not going to want to link the Hong Kong situation with the trade negotiations. One person who closely follows the trade talks said to me that President Trump, that there's still a belief that President Trump, at the end of the day, is going to want to make sure that the Hong Kong situation is just going to be put in a different box, and that his priority is not the Hong Kong issue, that he thinks that China should handle it instead, and that he would want a more simple trade deal.